Okay, everyone, we got a speaker here and the audience also here. So no more waiting. Let's get started. Yeah. So hello, Polkadot community, and welcome back to our AMA. And today we are having the greatest pleasure ever to have on the stage a very cool project, which is ZooDAO, which is the first community governed platform that enables users to generate passive income from NFTs and through gamification. And also, ZooDAO is built to help users to get more from their NFTs and crypto assets with an exciting and engaging solutions. And in case you don't know about us, Polkadot Insider, so we are a channel updating news, data analytics, real-time data, and research about projects to support retail investors' views when they invest in a Polkadot and Q-Sim ecosystem. All right, went through with me with the AMA today. I am just so honored to have Mr. Josh from ZooDAO, who's going to share with us what is so great about ZooDAO, what are we supposed to know about ZooDAO, and also what are some upcoming things that we have to follow up with ZooDAO. All right, let's go. So to kick off the atmosphere, sir, can you share with us a little bit about the story behind ZooDAO and also your team and your background as well?
Sure. Can you hear me okay? Just checking.
Yeah, that's perfect, sir.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, thanks so much for having me on. So a little bit of a brief overview of ZooDAO, I suppose. It's best to talk about the problems that we were trying to solve when we started building. So I'm sure we're all very familiar with the problem of NFT utility. You know, a lot of us own NFTs, but we're not sure what exactly to do with them once they're sitting in our wallets. And this is a problem even for the highest value of NFTs and the lowest value of NFTs. Usually they don't do anything for us. So we really wanted to solve that problem on a universal scale to provide a purpose and strong utility to these NFTs, regardless of market conditions, regardless of the NFT project's success rate or not, regardless of the utility that they're building out themselves. We wanted to provide a home for all of these NFTs. The second part of ZooDAO, the second problem that we tried to solve is I think far more important than that. And that's the problem of us in crypto, we're all pining for the mainstream adoption of crypto and DeFi. We all want, the retail audiences to come in droves and start using decentralized applications. That will be the adoption cycle, as it were. But very little has been done to gamify the process of interacting with DeFi. I mean, it's very unlikely to think that someone coming from their first, buying their first NFT would be depositing to some scary yield farm on a scary DeFi protocol. It takes a lot of time to build up to that level of confidence with DeFi tools. So we wanted to abstract all of the complexity away from users and gamify and simplify their process of interacting with protocols that they would never otherwise interact with, and just bring the benefits to them. So enter ZooDAO. It's a no-loss yield farming game for NFTs, where you can win the interest your opponent's assets generate on the DeFi protocols we build on, but you can't lose anything. So you can't lose your NFT and you can't lose your capital that you're using to vote on your NFT with. It's simply the yield that your assets generate that is up for grabs in these no-loss games. So yeah, the second part of that question was the team background. So we come from a pretty heavy DeFi background. So we've contributed to protocols like Lido, XDeFi, SpookySwap, and Anchor protocol, and a host of other experience in the centralized world or the old world as well. So yeah, that's us.
Well, that's really amazing to get to know more about your team and also a bit about yourself. And we really appreciate all the hard work so far from ZooDAO to all the problems surrounding NFTs and gamification. Yeah, and we're kind of down to hear more how you guys doing it so far. Okay, so we kind of very interested in the model, especially no loss NFT battles. Wow, it sounds a lot of trust there already. So can you explain with us more about this great model, this great concept?
Yeah, so some of us will have heard of a protocol called Pool Together. That was the first kind of no-loss lottery model in DeFi. And what Pool Together does is it takes USDC deposits and it stakes it on Aave, which earns like a small yield that's 2% APY or something like that. And then all of these assets will be pooled together, hence the name pool together. And then it will award people with prizes that the yield generates. So that 2% over, a couple of $1 million is going to be a significant amount of money. And every month, a new winner or winners are rewarded from that pool. So we really liked that model because it's a really fun way to save money. If you're going to be putting it into a bank where you basically earn negative interest rates and you're essentially paying the bank fees for keeping your money, why not do it in a much more fun way? Why not participate in a no loss lottery like that? So we really loved what Pool Together did, but we thought we could expand on it essentially. So ZooDAO is a much more flexible offering than Pool Together in that it's very, very individual. So in Pool Together, there's like thousands and thousands of these winners. In Pool Together, there's very few winners, but in ZooDAO, there can be thousands and thousands, because essentially what happens is when your NFT is paired with an opponent, there'll be thousands and thousands of these battles happening simultaneously. Whereas in Pool Together, there's just like, a couple of winners per season. Whereas in ZooDAO, it's possible for there to be hundreds and thousands, et cetera, et cetera. So the concept of no loss, to bring it back to your question, is that you can win financially speaking, but you can't lose. So when I stake my NFT is just, it's staked in, the only risk is smart contract risk. And it's the same with the assets. So my principal capital that I'm using to vote on my NFT with, or another person's NFT with, that remains yours. That can't be lost. It is simply the yield that is up for grabs in these no loss games. So that's what the concept of no loss is essentially. So while you can lose a battle, you can't lose financially speaking.
Wow, that's really impressive. It's kind of like it solves a lot of problems around it, and in terms of how the users can reward from it, benefit from it, and that's really great indeed. Yeah. So another thing they want to know is when it comes to NFT, we know that Ethereum, Solana, or Polygon will be the blockchains that builders will usually opt for. So what is ZooDAO choose to build on Polkadot, especially Moonbeam? Is there any, visions behind this one?
Yeah, so we really like the promise of the Polkadot ecosystem, and that is like interconnectedness and connected contracts where we can tap into other parachains and other chains pretty seamlessly. So we have a lot of users coming from Ethereum, and we've made it as simple as possible for them to participate in a chain which they would otherwise be not interacting with at all. So we've built our own front end around Wormhole's portal bridge for the NFTs, so people can bridge their NFTs from Ethereum straight to Moonbeam. We've also got cross-chain swaps via our partner Squid. So users never have to leave ZooDAO's dApp. If they're coming from Ethereum, they can participate in a battle on Moonbeam pretty seamlessly with very, very few steps. So Moonbeam as well offers extremely high yields with all of the liquidity incentives that are currently running. So that's like the perfect match for ZooDAO is high yields and low gas fees. And just bringing that benefit to our users.
Yeah, we kind of agree with you on this one. It's just really true, about it's a very perfect fit for ZooDAO in terms of technology and in terms of, as you said, high yield, low gas fee, and we kind of see a lot of it's a very good decision, the right decision. Yeah. So we know that technology has been a very important piece of a project in the blockchain industry. So can you share with us some of the highlights of ZooDAO in terms of technology and products to the listeners today?
Yeah, so it's actually very, very rare that something novel and unique is built in DeFi because, as we all know, it's like every new chain that pops up, they'll have a fork of Compound, a fork of Uniswap, a fork of XYZ, and it's just fork after fork. So ZooDAO's technology is an entirely novel tech stack. We're the first project to do what we're doing. So that's something that I'm quite proud of not myself because I'm not the developers, but the development team are extremely competent, and they've managed to get this amazing V0 off the ground with no hiccups. But we're really looking forward now to moving on to the V1, which will enable a lot more features that perhaps I can talk about it at a later date.
Yeah, that's really great. And it's kind of a lot of things coming up with this one. And yeah, just keep it there. We love surprises. So just tell us when it's, good news releases. Yeah, it's no problem. So
Will
yeah.
do.
So let's just talk about, some of the competitiveness. And we know that competition is always hard in this field. So to your perspective, what really makes ZooDAO stand out from other projects doing the same thing in the ecosystem?
So yeah, we're kind of in a fortuitous, advantageous position here because we don't really have any true competition. So I'm not sure if you're familiar or the listeners will be familiar with like NFT utility solutions on the whole, but there are very few. There are very, very few. You could probably count them on one hand, the prominent ones. I'll name two of them. One of them is JPEG. So most of us have heard of that. It allows you to collateralize your high value NFTs and take out loans against them, which is really, really cool. But as you can imagine, it can't serve every single NFT because it's using oracles, price data oracles, to determine the floor price on liquidations, et cetera, et cetera. So it can't serve every NFT. So that's not really a competitor, even though it's very, very cool. And then the second one is like NFTX. NFTX is an amazing protocol as well. It allows you to fractionalize your NFT and put it into a liquidity pool and earn a certain trading revenue based on the volume in that pool. So you can imagine if you have a Bored Ape, which we all wish we did, you could fractionalize it and put it into a pool, and then people could buy bits and pieces of your Bored Ape. So it's great if you have an NFT like a Bored Ape or a CryptoPunk, where people want 1/100th of them or 2/100th of one. Not so good when you have an NFT which is worth 0.001 ETH that you just really like the look of. You can't really do anything with that in NFTX because no one wants to buy 1/100th of 0.0001 ETH, unfortunately. So ZooDAO is kind of the first utility solution that for NFTs that can house any NFT, regardless of things like floor price, trading volume, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, not a huge amount in terms of competitors, especially since we have this completely novel product.
Yeah, we kind of like understand your point, and yeah, no doubt. ZooDAO got its thing to stand out, and in terms of the NFT utilities and also other problem-solving solutions we have seen so far, and all of them are very great. Yeah, I kind of see that. So about the future a little bit. So we kind of curious about ZooDAO next step in the rest of 2023 or even further. So can you show us a bit about some upcoming development plans that in your mind?
Yeah, sure. So currently ZooDAO gamifies liquidity provision to Moonwell, which is the largest lending protocol on Moonbeam network. But we really want to opt to a multi-protocol approach. We want to integrate protocols like StellaSwap, like BeamSwap, like the new Prime protocol that's upcoming, and gamify liquidity provision across the board. So currently there's only one yield source which people can tap into, which is Frax yields on Moonwell. But we want to opt for this multi-protocol approach to voting where users can really choose their own risk tolerance when it comes to how they want to interact with ZooDAO and how they want to save money, essentially. So they can opt for super safe, stablecoin yields if they wish to, or they can go for some super degen farm on StellaSwap, which has like 120% APY, which is going to be a major upgrade. The other upgrades are really to do with UX. So like we had a lot of feedback from our community on the V0 through private messages, through public forums, and we've taken it all in. So we're working on a heavily upgraded user experience, which will come with a lot more, modal pop-ups for, if you're confused at any stage during the DApp as to what you're meant to be doing at any given time, there'll be helpful guides to help you through the process. And then just making things a lot clearer. Another huge upgrade is currently you have to interact with the protocol to pair your NFTs and to claim rewards, et cetera, et cetera. And this isn't ideal because we want the objective is to be fully passive income, right? And if you have to interact with the protocol, it's not really passive income. It's somewhat passive income that you have to tune into and set an alarm every 2 weeks to interact, which isn't ideal. So the version 1 will be fully automated, which means that once a user has staked an NFT, voted on an NFT, or boosted with Zoo, the Zoo token, then they never have to interact with the protocol again. They can just let their NFTs and assets work for them forever, and just claim the rewards whenever they wish to. So this is going to be a huge upgrade in terms of UX. The next thing, which is kind of somewhat down the line, is the collateralization of voting positions. So let's say I stake, $5,000 on my NFT in ZooDAO. I get an NFT representing my liquidity position. And the cool thing about this NFT is that it can be very easily collateralized because it's directly tied to my $5,000. So we want to integrate lending for this, that you could use your voting position as collateral to take out a loan to add to your position again, which in turn contributes to the TVL even more and more. So those are some exciting things that we have planned. There are a lot more things, but it would be too long to go into now. So yeah, I'll leave it there for now.
Wow, a lot of things. Yeah, it's like a lot of cool integrations happening, a lot of cool upgrades in terms of UX and also in terms of user experience as a whole. It's a lot of things that we got to follow up, everyone. So set the alarm, follow them, so you're not gonna miss any great things, great news from ZooDAO in the upcoming time. Okay, so I think the last question is kind of relaxing. Yeah, if you think so. Yeah. So if you have to say 3 words or 3 sentences to express what you're proud of ZooDAO, so what are those, sir?
Yeah, 3 words is difficult. I'm more of a sentence person, I think. But I'm extremely proud of our community. Like, we've been building through, where we all know it, this brutal bear market, and they've stuck with us and are super supportive. So if anyone from our community is listening, thank you very much. And I'm proud of our tech stack. Our product is, even the V0 is like, it's completely novel and new, and it hasn't been done before. And that's kind of a rare thing in DeFi. So I'm extremely proud of the team and the development there. I don't know if that's 3 things, but those are the 2 main ones.
Yeah, that's lovely enough. Yeah, the community, the product, and the team. Yeah, it's kind of what we already see about ZooDAO, and yeah, a lot of good things coming up, and we believe that. Yeah. So I think it's all the questions about today. Yeah, we've been through a lot of good information about ZooDAO. What are they trying to solve, to build, and keep building? And also, what are some upcoming things, that we have to follow up with them? So before we say goodbye, sir, do you have any words left, any announcement left that you missed to the listeners today?
I don't think announcement, but yeah, now is a great time to get involved with the projects that are still here and building, because they're the real ones if they've survived this bear market. So we would welcome any listeners to join our community and ask us questions and find out more about the protocol and what we're building and how they can get involved.
Yeah, that's really lovely. Yeah, thank you so a lot. Yeah, and we also thank you ZooDAO, that's Mr. Josh, for coming here with a lot of with a lot of good sharings, and I believe that I myself love it, and I mean the listeners gonna love it as well. Yeah, and also thank you all the listeners have joined us today. We hope that you just had relaxing time with us. So if you have missed any information today, we can play the recording again. It's gonna be on our Twitter after this one. Yeah, you can play it anytime you want. Yeah, so I think it's time for us to say goodbye. So goodbye, everyone. Goodbye, sir, and
brilliant.
Yeah, and welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. See you all again in our next AMA. Yeah, thank you everyone for coming.
Cheers. Bye.